Witchers were made to kill monsters. Evil is evil. Lesser, greater, middling, it's all the same. If I have to choose between one evil and another, then I prefer not to choose at all. It doesn't matter who posted the notice. The coin has to be right. That's all. That here in The Witcher 3, we are a professional monster hunter. That is literally our profession and how we move through the world. Here, this is episode 1 of The Witcher 3. There's a playlist that will have all the episodes together for you, and that playlist will be the best way to enjoy this series. In all seriousness, thank you for all the likes, views, and comments on everything. I'm really thankful for all of you here. Please do me a favor, and if you like this video, click like. YouTube channel members and the Patreon to support what I do. Grab your favorite drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy The Witcher 3. Just taking a little nap. Nothing to see here. Witcher Keep, banks of some mountain. It has been a long week of Witcher hunting stuff. Clearly, it's time to relax a little. Please no. Talk about ruining my bath.
You know I don't find that amusing.
Yuck. An illusion.
It wasn't meant to amuse, but to prod you to hurry. It's midday already. You promised Ciri you'd train with her. Go before Vesemir bores her to death with those etchings.
Ooh, look at all these scars. Each one telling a story we're still alive, huh?
So, later then.
See you later.
This is kind of neat. Up here on the balcony, we can see Ciri down there on the right practicing. I think we should set up that relationship just a little bit. I'm not sure how well The Witcher 3 is going to do to explain that. Long story short. In the Witcher world, there's something called the Law of Surprise. And Geralt, that's us here, The Witcher, okay? He saved someone's life. And there's an ancient custom in The Witcher where you can enact the Law of Surprise. Basically, you save someone's life, okay? And then they say, I'm going to pay you back. And you say, no, I won't take any money. What I want instead, since I saved your life, I want you to give me something you don't know you have yet. In saving this person's life, it turns out that when they got home, they found that their wife was pregnant with what came to become Ciri, which means, if Geralt had not saved this person's life, Ciri would have been not only fatherless, but blah, 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 blah. So it's a custom and tradition in this world that is accepted as law. Geralt is not Ciri's father, okay? However, we are her guardian. And Geralt is a man of... He has a very deep moral compass, for better and for worse. And he's very serious about this relationship with Ciri. And that he has essentially raised her as his own little shadow almost, where he almost loves her more than a daughter. Not in a romantic way, but almost like a brother in a lot of his interactions, where he is very protective, but he's also... a monster hunter, which is how he's trained her. In addition, something of note I want to make clear, The Witcher 3 in the world of The Witcher, Witchers are kind of a dying breed. The world around The Witcher, the major landscape and the bigger plots, it's kind of, I think, important to understand that some people are starting to think monsters aren't real. They're starting to think that the monsters are just in storybooks and that maybe we don't need witchers anymore. And then all of a sudden a monster really comes along and you do need a witcher and we are still helpful, but we are kind of the last of a dying breed where there used to be multiple different schools of witchers and there's just kind of us left. Okay. One other thing I'm going to highlight here coming into the story, Yennefer. Yennefer is a sorceress, a magician, a wizard, a witch, whatever it's called in this world, I forget. But she can do the magic, okay? Her and Geralt really do love each other quite a bit, okay? They also kind of hate parts of themselves. And their relationship is very difficult because they both actually want to have a life outside of the lives they live. They live some of the most privileged lives in all the kingdoms, and they hate it. Geralt kind of didn't always want to be a monster hunter, and Yennefer wants to be a mother. She wants to raise a family and have a life of her own, but the magics that make a witcher is we are no longer human, we are a witcher, which one thing you can tell is that visually, I want to notice our eyes, we have these cat eyes. See, they're kind of vertical there with the in the middle there, right? We're no longer human. We are visibly and visually different to the people around us. There are certain processes that go into becoming a witcher that physiologically change you to such a degree that, as far as I'm concerned, you're no longer human. Maybe there's a doctor here who's going to tell me a little different, but to the best of my understanding, yeah, we are visually different enough that if we walk into a room,
Old Witcher's fast asleep. Ciri's disappeared somewhere, of course.
So this is the castle where we grew up as a Witcher. This is where we were trained in our Witcher ways.
Guess she prefers practice to theory.
What?
Time to wake up, Master. These lessons so boring they put you to sleep too?
John of Bruges lacks flair, true, but he's reliable. Not like the hogwash they print nowadays. She's tackling the pendulums, right? How many times do I have to tell her? Don't train alone. It only embeds your errors. Bring our young damsel to the lower courtyard. She wants to practice, she'll get to practice.
Don't get mad at her.
Well, not. The whippersnapper refuses to do as she's told.
You like that about her.
Fine. I suppose I'm partly to blame. But this has to end. Now. Killing monsters is not something to be taken lightly. Ciri must understand that, if she's to become one of us.
Wrong.
Whoa,
Now I see why you
whoa.
were so eager to practice. Strike.
Come on, it's impressive.
You're not in a circus. Pirouette.
Blindfolded,
Wrong. Footwork.
balancing on these pillars.
Enough. Get down.
With a flip?
What do you think?
With a flip.
All right. Take off the blindfold. You've got work to do. Your reflexes are still slow.
Maybe for a witcher.
Think drowners or striggers will go easy on you because you haven't undergone the mutations? Though in your shoes, I'd fear Vesemir more than any strigger. Disobeying his instructions? Unwise.
Well, yes, but that book was horribly dull.
I know. And you know that's no excuse.
I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
You're gonna read Ghouls and Alghouls in its entirety. Appendices included.
No, please! I'd rather clean the stables.
Come on. We'll practice with the others down below.
Shall we run the walls?
Of course.
This a Witcher school or an elven bathhouse?
To the bottom.
Maybe if you fall.
So again, we are physiologically different from a human, and these changes are actually very, very easy to climb. That is awkward. Are very, very different from.
What did I tell you?
Are very
about breathing?
dangerous.
Through your mouth, in rhythm with your steps.
There's a very real chance of dying or becoming permanently blind
Sarah,
or just
cut it out.
rejecting the different. Oh boy. The different challenges and obstacles, and I don't know how to climb down this. That. For speed while running to leap. Okay. So I just don't want to lose. Be a little
I
embarrassing.
win.
Your legs are longer. I'll show you yet.
Uh-huh.
Grow a bit.
Just need to grow a bit. There's a very real chance that Ciri will never be a Witcher, as to undergo that process might kill her. And I don't think Geralt could do that. So on one hand, we train her like a Witcher, but on the other hand, she'll never become one. It'll be very interesting to see.
Vesemir's got that look.
What
Oh,
did you
boy.
expect?
Anything to say for yourself, young lady?
I'm very sorry, Uncle Vesemir.
Young blood craves action, I understand that. But when you fight a beast, knowledge counts as much as your silver sword. At the very least, you ought to be able to tell a ghoul from an owl-ghoul.
By markings, like unto the Panthera tigris that in Zerrikania dwells, and by the sickly paleness of its visage.
So you did read the chapter. Still, you should have asked if...
But you were asleep, Uncle Vesemir.
So you did the reading. Why not admit it right off?
Never pounce on an advantage as soon as it appears. Wait till it stands to have maximum effect. Uncle Vesemir's words.
Well, you're a quick study. Quick, but mischievous. Fine, we've talked enough. Geralt, you're with me, Lambert with Eskel, Ciri with the dummy.
Again?
Stop groaning and grab a sword. What do you think? Should we start by reviewing the fundamentals or go right to free train?
Should work on the basics. Even skilled masters need to hone the fundamentals, and Ciri's barely a novice.
So, the core tools of our trade as a witcher is a steel sword and a silver sword. The silver sword is mostly reserved for slaying monsters, while the steel sword is for all other combat. Also, as a witcher, we are reasonably skilled in alchemy. We can brew some potions and some bombs for a little bit of an advantage, and some basic combat magic. These are signs. They're not as powerful as a true spell from a mage, but they are cast quickly with, one-handed gestures, making them useful in the heat of combat. Good things to know. Yeah, go get it.
Whoa! You really showed him, kid.
Ciri, get down here.
A little she-devil. Soon as she's back, we'll set her to polishing all the swords at Kaer Morhen.
Find that helmet?
It might seem like...
Ciri?
Oh, wait, hold on.
I'll make sure to find every last blade for you. What the?
Something's not right. That's supposed to be a training dummy.
Vesemir.
We're under attack. Oh no.
I've long awaited this, and you, White Wolf.
No!
So that was all a flashback and a mixture of reality and fears. We're on the road to Vizima.
You all right?
Had a nightmare.
About?
Take forever to explain.
Dawn's some way off. We've got time.
I dreamed of home.
Started in the guest room at Kaer Morhen. I was relaxing in the tub, and next to me,
Triss?
Yennefer. Funny, isn't it? She's never been there. Seemed so real in my dream, though.
Was she nagging you about something? True to life, indeed. We'll find her.
I know we will. That's not what worries me. You've seen her tracks. She's at full gallop all the time. Breakneck speed through wild lands, devastated battlefields. She's in a hurry to get somewhere. Or fleeing something. Either way, it means trouble of some sort.
Be surprised if she wasn't in trouble. She's always poked her nose in beehives. Courtly intrigues here, mages' conspiracies there. What do you expect?
Don't know. Guess I thought once we were finally reunited, things would be calm. At least for a while.
Calm? With Yennefer? Good luck.
In the dream, I went and found Ciri. Then we trained.
Those were the days. Little she-devil. I've trained kids who were faster, stronger, but none had her character. Didn't end well, did it? Your dream?
No. The Wild Hunt appeared, attacked Ciri. I couldn't move, stood there like a stump.
It was just a dream.
That's the problem. It was more. In the past, when Ciri'd appear in my dreams, something was wrong. She was in danger.
We taught her how to defend herself from anything, wraiths included.
Be dawning soon.
Time to go.
Time to go.
Wait. Show me the letter from Yennefer. Might have overlooked some hint in there.
Didn't overlook anything. We were meant to meet in Willoughby. That's what she wrote. Meanwhile, one army or another burned the village to the ground. All we can do is follow her trail, so...
Stop talking for a minute and give me the letter. Oh, how about that? It does smell of lilac and gooseberries.
You were gonna read it, not sniff it.
We must meet soon. Willoughby near Vizima. Nothing else to guide us there. What's this postscript? I still have the unicorn?
Everybody loves the unicorn. It's a big stuffed unicorn.
Used it once or twice. In certain situations.
The things young folk get up to these days.
Back on topic. How's it look? How far behind Yennefer are we?
2 or 3 days. Trail's fresh, but it looks like it leads towards the main road. Could be muddled there. Wait, hear that?
I hear it. I smell it.
Ghouls. Monsters are shown with a silver health bar above their heads. This indicates we should fight them with our silver sword. Life on the continent and the local isles is nasty, brutish, and short. A war lays waste to the lands, and those it spares live in fear of the monsters lurking. Oh boy. Oh man, I'm not ready for this. Excuse me, sir. Why are there so many of you? What signs do we have? A little fire damage. I want to make sure you open up with the shield. Excuse me, sir. Signs consume stamina. If your stamina is too low... Dude, this lock-on's gonna get me killed. I'm trying to switch it. Mercy. Yeah, we gotta figure out how lock-on works. I think they know that the lock-on's like tricky. Come here, little ghoul. Got him.
Of course, when armies pass, necrophages follow. Let's go before any more show up.
You can regenerate vitality by eating or drinking or meditating for 1 hour. Okay. Let's just meditate, dude. We'll just meditate for an hour. That's totally fine, dude. Can we read this? Bandits calling themselves Tamara's soldiers are hiding in the nearby woods. They have been declared outlaws and a threat to the Emperor's subjects. Assisting or sheltering them in any way will be summarily punished to the fullest extent permitted by Imperial law. On behalf of the Emperor of Niflgaard, signed one Captain Peter... Totally his name. So I thought there'd be... there we go. There's a little loot. I see now. There's a couple X's here. A crystal skull.
Skull in black crystal.
Interesting.
Why do I think this is Yen's?
Trying to figure out how to meditate. There it is. So we've meditated for 1 hour to regenerate our health. Very nice. I think some other like world building things that are relevant to the world here. Okay. Ciri is on the run, not from us, but from a number of different kind of factions that are actually genuinely interested in her. Okay. And that is who we're trying to catch up to. I think we're currently trying to meet with Yennefer, who has a lead on where Ciri may be going or has gone. Okay, in that kind of tutorial zone, that opening cutscene, the big spooky boat showed up. That is the Wild Hunt. Huge spoilers in a lot of this. That if you've read the books or watched the shows or the movies or whatever media is out there right now, then some of this you'll know. But obviously, you know, this is a complete playthrough. You're going to see some things that are pretty spoilery. So brace yourself for impact. Jump to the next episode if you don't want more spoilers. But I'm going to be spoiling some major plot points when I get to the count of 0. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Spoilers ahead. I've read all the Witcher books probably 10 or 15 years ago, like not recently, okay? I've seen the shows on Netflix. I've seen the media that's out there, and I don't have the firmest like memory of exactly how things happen or why. But to the best of my recollection, in this world, there are a number of factions that want Ciri because of her bloodline. It turns out that she is the direct descendant of someone very, very important and powerful. And in this world, magic is actually passed down genetically to some degree. The Wild Hunt are actually from another dimension from the planet that we're on. There's other planets that you can get through to them by using portals. And by going through these portals, you have access to entire other places. And the Wild Hunt comes through a portal here in the hunt for Ciri. Specifically, why they're hunting Ciri is because she is the last person on this entire planet who actually has the genetic capability to open up portals. That's about it. And so the elves aren't originally from the land that we're in. And so there's a lot of issues here in this world with elitism, right? What race is better than another race in racism, right? The elves think they're better than everyone. I don't want to get off track there. Bottom line, the elves are stuck here because they don't know how to portal anymore. And this other Wild Hunt, I think they're also elves. They're like a different faction of elves. And they're fighting a war to get the Ciri. But on top, because they need to be able to portal between worlds. But on top of that, like the next level down is the human kingdoms on this land are tired of not being treated well by the more supernatural elements, the elves and the dwarves and whatnot. And so they are fighting a war for humanity's supremacy. And so there's a group of human kingdoms and kings who kind of have smaller kingdoms. And then there's the Niflgaardians who are kind of like the big fish swallowing up the little fish. And it turns out that Ciri is also a direct descendant of some of the kings and queens of the human kingdoms. And so there's a war going on a supernatural level with the elves who are, you know, traveling through time and space in their portals. And then for the human kingdoms, because she is the rightful ruler of a significant chunk of quite literally geographical land. And all of this gets really messy because as a Witcher, Ciri is legally, through the law of surprise, we are legally her guardian in a major way. We have a right to her that goes above her parents or anyone else as this law of surprise. We are the highest, you know, in a court of law, we are the top line item, okay, whatever that means. And as a Witcher, we're not responsible to any kingdom. We're not responsible to any queen. We try and respect their laws, but our highest calling is to hunt monsters for money. That is our profession. It's what we do. And as a Witcher, it's kind of an awkward position to be in because we're one of the only people on all the world who is not pledged fealty to another kingdom, who's not pledged fealty to another code. We just want to hunt monsters and ultimately protect Ciri. And that's going to be a big part of the story going forward is how do we find Ciri and figure out what's the best thing to do? Because at this moment in time, Geralt doesn't quite have all the facts I've shared with you. The other thing going on, kind of the levels to all of this, okay? You have the elves and the portaling. You have the kingdoms and their war, okay? You also have the magicians. The mages and wizards and witches, whatever they're called, okay, in this world are just OP. They're like wildly overpowered. They are so wildly overpowered that they have essentially positioned themselves to be advisors to every single ruling king on this planet. And they are trying to steer the kingdoms in a certain direction, because the mages have their own agenda for how they want this world to be shaped, and they also know that there's deep, powerful magic running through Ciri. But not all the mages know that, because there's a couple of different factions of mages that are kind of fighting it out. Now, you might say to me, Vadd, why does this matter? I want to set the tone here of who we are in this world. That we're a monster hunter. Like, that's it. We want money to hunt monsters. That's our profession. That's our calling. But we're pulled in all these different directions in the books and in the movies and the media outside the Witcher game here, with the fight between the elves and their portal problem, the fight between the human kingdoms and their problems of who has the right to rule. And I don't really know the direction the Witcher 3, the game, is going to go with this stuff. Is it going to lead harder into the monster hunter aspect? Is it going to lead harder into these politics of the human kingdoms? Are we going to spend time with elves? I don't know. But I want to set that story up of who we are in this world, a monster hunter, who Ciri is to us, our immediate, we are her guardian, and, we love her like a brother in a very meaningful way. We protect her like a father, but we love her like a brother, right? And our relationship with the mages, right? Because we're one of the only people who can actually do magic who isn't a mage as a witcher. But also, we're kind of in love and loved by Yennefer and some other mages we might meet later on. And because of that, our relationships are very complicated, because all those other people are tied to these other factions in ways that we're going to find out about. So I'm really hoping that this game does a really good job of not just having excellent gameplay, but can tell a good story, because the source material is there, and we're going to find out. If you have read through the books, you would know that Geralt isn't really the main character of the books. He is in the games and in the most recent Netflix adaptation. But in reality, Geralt of Rivia, that's us right here, he's actually kind of a side character if you really dig into the books. The main character is Ciri. So just this month, or the last month or so, the same developers who produced The Witcher 3 have come out and said, hey, we're making The Witcher 4. You get to play as Ciri, and I'm super excited for that. So I think it was time to come back to The Witcher 3. I was here at launch for The Witcher 3, and people really forget that Witcher 3 launched worse or as bad as Cyberpunk 2077 launched. They launched so tragically bad. We're not going to spend more time on that. I just want to put it out there that we're here in The Witcher 3, kind of in preparation for The Witcher 4, even though it's probably 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years down the road. I don't care. I think this is a really wonderful world and narrative here that we can dive into. I think the concept of a monster hunter is not played out. I think it is immensely fun, and I'm really hoping that we not only get to kill cool monsters, but we also get to meet some of the characters like Yennefer and Ciri and Vesemir, get to spend some time with them, right? And I want to see some of the political side of things. Do we get to really interact with some of these kingdoms and the elves and see how these things unfold? I'm super excited for this series moving forward, and I hope you are as well. I hope I've done a good job of introducing some of the characters and introducing some of the world in a way that is not too overwhelming, but is also informative enough that you feel like you kind of understand why we're doing some of the things we're doing, because our motivations are, on one hand, very clear, but on the other hand, very, very murky. Is at some point, there's just no good choice to make regarding our choices, and I'm hoping this game does a good job of putting us in those positions. It is time to chase lilac and gooseberries. It is time to see if Yennefer is at the end of that road. We're going to be following Vesemir and riding our horse.